Hello there. Settle in by the fire if you haven't already. That's it, just a little closer, where the warmth can touch your fingertips. I'm glad you're here tonight. The woods have a way of whispering secrets when the stars come out, don't they? And, as always, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. What time is it for you? Are you winding down for sleep, or just letting the flames chase away the day? I always enjoy hearing those little details. They make the circle feel a bit bigger. Tonight we're drifting into something quietly peculiar. Forgotten ranger lore from the old wild woods. Not the shiny tales of heroic patrols you might expect, but the dull, everyday truths that kept men, and sometimes entire outposts, from vanishing into the trees. Why you, dear listener, probably wouldn't last a single night out here in the way they did. No grand adventures, just the slow grind of survival, told soft as embers. If your eyes grow heavy along the way, that's the point. Let's begin. Our first whisper comes from the 19th century, when rangers weren't rangers at all, just men with rifles and too much empty sky. They called them stair builders' ghosts, but really it was the staircases themselves that haunted the patrols. Picture this. You're trudging a forgotten trail in the Appalachians, boots caked in mud that smells like wet earth and regret. And there, rising from the pine needles like a half-forgotten dream, a set of stone steps. 13, always 13, leading up to nothing. No cabin ruins, no overlook, just air, thick with the hum of unseen insects. The old-timers' rule was simple and dull as dishwater. Mark it on no map, speak of it to no one, and certainly do not climb. Because those steps weren't built for going up. They were invitations, I suppose. One young warden in 1872, let's call him Elias, though names fade like smoke, ignored the tedium of the rule. He was new, full of that foolish energy that makes the young think forests are puzzles to solve. Up he went, one step at a time, the air growing cooler, quieter, until the crickets fell silent mid-chirp. On the 13th, he glanced back. His boot prints? Gone. Not scattered by wind, not overgrown, simply erased, as if the ground had reconsidered his passage. Elias stumbled down in a panic, scraping palms raw on unyielding stone. When he reached his horse at dawn, his pocket watch claimed 5 hours had slipped away like thieves in the night. He spoke of it once, to a grizzled colleague over weak coffee that tasted of pine resin. The man just nodded, slow as sap, and said, "Some stairs go sideways, lad. Best pour your cup and forget the view." Elias lasted 2 more seasons before the woods claimed his spark. He'd wake in his bunkhouse, whispering of concrete dust on his tongue. Funny, isn't it? How the most boring rules, the ones we dismiss as old wives' tales, are often the only things standing between us and the quiet unraveling. Rest easy knowing you're safe by this fire. For now. Now, let's turn our gaze to the early 20th century, when campsites were more leisure than luxury. A tale of the camper who never quite checked out, or in, depending on how you count the hours. Imagine 1909, Yellowstone's edges still raw and uncharted, where rangers logged every tin cup and footprint like accountants tallying souls. A permit arrives for campsite 17, one Daniel R., 24, solo, 3 nights planned. The warden arrives at dusk, air heavy with the scent of damp wool and half-burnt pine, to find the site frozen in polite abandonment. Tent zipped neat as a letter, lantern flickering inside like a shy guest. Coals glowing faint in the pit, hot dogs untouched on the plank table, pink and glistening under the fading light. Wallet open to a faded photo, keys glinting, one boot laced but empty. No note, no struggle, just absence, the kind that makes the trees lean in closer. The search dragged on for 9 days. Dull work, really, gritting miles of bramble that clawed at your sleeves like insistent children. Bloodhounds bayed once, then lay down and refused the leash. On the 10th dawn, 3:12 a.m., precise as a clockwork heart, Daniel emerges from the tree line. Clothes crisp, no stubble shadowing his jaw, a smile soft as morning mist. "Have you seen Sarah?" he asks, as if inquiring after the weather. Sarah, no name on the permit but his own. He described her with the casual precision of a man reciting supper. Long black hair like raven silk, green eyes sharp as new leaves, red flannel knotted at her waist. They showed him the tent, empty, pristine, zipper teeth gleaming unused. He tilted his head, ever so slightly, and murmured, "She always waits by the fire. Patient sort." No trace of her ever turned up, not a thread, not a heel print softened by dew. Daniel vanished from records soon after, but postcards arrive still, yellowed with age, postmarked from nowhere. "She sat where the light's warmest," the script reads, looping like smoke. One wonders, in those quiet moments before sleep, if boredom isn't the real ghost, the way it lulls us into ignoring the empty chair across the flames. Breathe deep now. Let the rhythm of the story match your own. And for our final whisper tonight, a peculiar light from the mid-20th century patrols, when radios crackled like distant thunder and moons hung too full for comfort. The light that walked, but never quite alone. North Ridge Road, 1954. Full moon painting the snow silver as a counterfeit coin. Our wardens doing 30 in a truck that smells of oil and old sandwiches. Window cracked to let the frost bite his knuckles awake. Mile marker 42, and there, a glow in the underbrush, pacing him like a shadow with manners. Same speed, same curve through the pines. He thumbs the radio. Static, then silence. No other souls on shift. Curiosity, that dull, persistent itch, bids him slow. The light mirrors. He stops. It halts. Engine off, and the world shrinks to the tick of cooling metal and his own breath fogging the dash. Then it drifts clear. Not lantern or headlamp, but a sphere of flame, soft orange as harvest moon, hovering knee-high, no bigger than a faithful hound's head. No wick, no fuel, just pure, polite fire, rotating lazy as if appraising his curiosity. He steps out, boots crunching virgin snow that glitters like spilled sugar. It blinks. Yes, blinks. Twin folds of flame shuddering slow, almost courteous. Then retreats, deliberate, into the gloom. An invitation wrapped in warmth. He follows. 1 foolish mile, then 2, snow yielding soft underfoot on the way out. But turning back reveals only outbound prints, marching bold into the dark, with no return etched in the frost. 4 hours to retrace, by his battered watch, though the moon swore otherwise. He drove that ridge every full phase after, windows sealed, radio humming hymns to drown the quiet. The light never reappeared. Or perhaps it did, waiting just beyond the beams, patient, as all old woods are. It's the tedium of these patrols, you see, that wears the soul. Endless miles of nothing, until the nothing starts to watch back. But here by our fire, it's all just stories, soft as ash. There we have it. 3 quiet corners of Ranger lore, dusted off for a night like this. If any of it tugged at a memory of your own, a trail half remembered, a light unexplained, share it below. I read them all, you know. They keep the circle warm. For now, let the embers murmur on. Wherever you are, whatever hour chimes for you, sleep well. Good night. I will keep the campfire going a little while longer for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy some peace.